It's a pretty good one. We got a random dev Q&A that sort of gave us some information into major questions the community had, like are set items getting even better in a drop rate? Will we be able to recustomize our face and hide our helmet, and other related type of questions? Let's go. Okay, so this is unexpected but pretty cool. Diablo Immortal developer Q&A series. They actually decided to do a Q&A, and I guess they have some questions to be answered here. The most common ones, I think, from the community is what I am guessing here. Welcome to our official Diablo Immortal Q&A series. About once a month, the developer team will select a handful of burning questions from the community to respond. Both the question, so this is something they're going to be doing reoccurring. Okay. Both the question and answer will be posted below. We hope for this series to not only be educational, but provide an additional level of transparency between the development team and players. Okay, right off the bat, I can tell you anything that's going to increase the amount of communication is going to be received well by the public, and typically received well by me as well. Because in all honesty, knowing what's going on sometimes makes it not as big of a deal when you're just kind of spinning around doing nothing. So let's see here. Question. I really like some of the recent updates, such as set crafting. Will there be any future updates? Okay, so they're giving themselves a softball right out of the get-go here. We plan to continue our regular content update of cadence of roughly 2 updates a month with regards to items. Changes such as set item crafting. We're planning to further improve the set item collecting experience in our next major content. Okay. That is good to know that they're improving the set item collecting experience as early as the 14th. I kind of didn't know this. I thought that they were just kind of dropping the set item crafting and leaving it. There were some hints in some of the Chinese patch notes addressing that they weren't done with the set item experience, but that was before the crafting, so I had kind of assumed them. Anyway, I do believe the set items could be buffed still. Like, I still think the drop rate is pretty low, even though we can craft them now. So, that's kind of encouraging to see that. So we'll move on to the next question here. I was busy working for a while and did not play much. Now most of the players on my server are hell level 5 while I'm still in hell level 3. It's really hard to find a dungeon party. Okay, here we go. Does the Diablo Immortal development team have any plans to make this easier? Okay, so they gave themselves a softball, but now they're actually answering like admittedly a more difficult one. Kind of curious to see what the answer on this is. We are working on additional changes that will be added to Diablo Immortal in the coming months, so just kind of a PR statement. Pretty typical there. These changes will make catching up to the rest of your server easier. This includes increasing the experience boost if you're significantly behind the server Paragon level. Okay, so it's going to be boosting that. This is not a big deal, to be honest, because server Paragon is typically not the problem. It's the combat rating catch-up that's difficult. Exploring ways for players who are behind to raise their combat rating by increasing the rate at which they receive legendary set items. Okay, so if you're behind, it sounds like they're going to take the common... This was actually a common community suggestion of, hey, can we boost the drop rate, not only the experience. This will make alts way easier, coming to mind, even though alts typically aren't really a thing with the way the game's set up. In the Immortal's current form, there's a situation where players catch up in experience, but their combat rating is still too low to participate in various activities. This is very true. Another way we are improving player experience is through server merges. We've released 2 waves of server merges and continue to monitor population's player behavior. Now, if you ask me, server merges were better for people. However, this is not something that is unanimous. It's a pretty split community. Some people hate it because everything's busy and they can't get their grind on. The other people love it because everything's busy and they feel like it's actually a populated game they're playing. So it kind of depends who you ask. Here's another question. When can I change my character's appearance and will be able to hide our character's helmet? Oh, that's an interesting one. Plan to release a feature for facial recustomization next major content the 14th. Oh, they actually said they were never going to do this before, so I guess they changed their mind. That's nice. We've heard the call for the ability to hide your character's helmets and fully understand the desire to see your character's face. We're already in the thick of production on this feature implementation, so stay tuned. I do know something about this one. The data miner said there was a character in the code called Fabrice, and I guess what he does is recustomize the face. So I kind of knew a bit about the face just from that code, but I didn't actually know that they were going to like do it. I thought maybe they had something in the code for like, you know, a test server or something, but I guess they're actually pushing it to live. That's cool. Let's continue here. When can we have a new zone? I want to farm somewhere new. Interesting. Okay, I kind of just went over farming locations, so this one's fresh in our brain. You're in luck. Our next major content update will introduce a new zone, Storm Peak, that will expand... Storm Point, excuse me, not Storm Peak, that will expand the story of Diablo Immortal and introduce a new quest line. Okay. The new zone will provide players with more farming opportunities, bounties, and unique zone-wide events. Okay, so we got more farming locations, a new zone. The new zone was leaked a while ago, I want to say a month ago at this point, and it looks like the name of the zone is actually correct. Let's move on here. Question, every time I try to find parties for a Hellcrate boss raid, I need to wait for each boss to gather enough people. Why is this? We found that many players like to fight all the Heliquary bosses at once. In the upcoming major content update on December 14th, it will be possible to change the raid target boss without exiting. Okay, so this is basically when you're in a raid and you're like, okay, join, now everyone leave, now everyone join, now everyone leave, etc. That right there is just a easy warband quality of life thing, not necessarily a content update. Let's see exactly what the people are feeling about that. This guy is talking about that one in particular, seems to be liking that one. Need more contracts too. Oh, that's a good point. The contracts could use additional versions. They are very repetitive. There's only really a few of those, and they go quickly. Green step from intelligence to strength and vice versa should be used about 100%. This is one that I've mentioned directly to them multiple times, and I'm not the only one mentioning. I mean, many people are mentioning this to them at this point here. Raids in one go. I'm really surprised the raid in one go is the one everyone's talking about. I thought it would be the set item crafting, but it looks like it's pretty split between what people like the face changing. Also details on this. It looks like it's free once every 7 days is what the data mine shows on that one. And that's kind of the go through of the Q&A. They also posted this to their main Diablo Immortal news, and it looks like this series, they say, is going to be about once a month. I think they covered a couple questions that were fairly large. There's a few in here I would have liked to seen addressed. For instance, cosmetics being transferable between classes. This topic has been asked almost more than literally anything, and it was not addressed in that Q&A. Hopefully it'll be addressed in the next one. Also, I thought this was interesting. This November 22nd update got added in here for the bug fixes. Look at this. Fixed an issue that made some players invisible while having the Below the Sands cosmetic equipped. That was a new one. The invisible people was very frustrating, but I didn't realize that's what was causing it. One other question I had that didn't really get answered was why the need to nerf overworld spots. I actually don't think any of the spots in the overworld are particularly busted. There's some spots that are more popular than others, but for the most part, the experience is never enough where it feels like I'm leveling so fast, I can't tell anyone about this spot. Like, I doubt there's even a spot in the whole game that's, significantly better than any other given spot. It's mostly just overworld farming. So I didn't really understand the need to nerf that one. And I also thought that Mount Savan, that monk farm circle that they nerfed, took a decent amount of skill if you're going to farm that even solo, because you had to kill all the packs exactly in the right order, etc. Maybe there's an argument to be made that they did it for bounties, so that way less people went there, so the people that are trying to do bounties there were able to complete the bounties easier. But if that's the case, then that should be disclosed in the argument. When in the patch notes, they actually don't say that. What they actually say when they nerfed it was to create parity across all zones. Parity meaning the state or condition of being equal. So effectively what they're saying is these ones had too much experience and were too good. So hopefully that's the last time that happens, because I don't necessarily believe they were too good, and we shouldn't put into practice of nerfing experience, especially when we literally just put in the dev Q&A. One of the things we're going to be doing is increasing the experience. So why are we nerfing places because they're too good of experience and then increasing how much experience people get? It's just a little weird to me. But all in all, I mean, I'm not trying to, I don't want to get a good thing and then make some bad points here. This is actually good. We need communication. I love the fact that out of nowhere, it seems that they're further improving this item collecting experience. 100% in my opinion, if this is true, what needs to happen is intelligence, strength, transfer between each other. It would have as much storage as we need, which would be an easy solution to creating more storage. It would make the experience of set collecting way better. There's a million reasons why this is the obvious solution. Otherwise, they're going to have to tweak all the drop rate numbers just so you can farm all the gear again. It's really the obvious solution. One other answer to the possible experience question is maybe they want their new zone, because they said, what about the new zone? I want to farm somewhere. Maybe they want their new zone to get a lot of play. Maybe the new zone is going to be the new farm area, and they're like, hey, look, let's put these two are a little better in these other areas. Let's cut them down, trim them all the same level, and we'll make the new zone better. Could be like that too. Either way, when the new update launches, I'm going to be covering all this and seeing what's going on. Probably do a live stream for it, and you can catch all that information in the description below. Love y'all. Let me know what you think of the Q&A, what you're excited about, what you wish they talked about. Leave it in the comment. I'll read it. See you guys on the next video.